If you've got any of Bang & Olufsen's latest wireless smart speakers, like the Emerges shown here, then you'll know that it's been rather difficult to connect them to non-B&O TVs like this Sony screen here. That's all changed. In this video I'm going to explain how this can now easily be achieved with amazing results. Come and join me. So first of all, I need to give a huge thank you to the software development team at Bang & Olufsen's headquarters in Denmark for kindly sending out on short-term loan these non-Google, which is important, I'll explain later, Beosound Emerges. I'll be sorry to see them go when they have to be sent back in a couple of weeks' time, but they've actually been really useful and they've allowed us to come up with some new ways to get these speakers connected to different products. Also, big thank you to B&O for kindly working with me, listening to my never-ending crazy questions and updating their software. So now we have the capability to use these speakers in all sorts of new ways. I'll just explain briefly what the background is, why we had an issue to start with, and what the problem is that has been solved here. So for the last few years, Bang & Olufsen's wireless smart speakers have used a new software platform called Mozart. It's brilliant. It lets you stream your music all around the house, join music playing from one room into another, and you can also use the room compensation feature to cleverly adapt the sound of each speaker to its environment, and that transforms the sound. It's a game changer. It means that tiny speakers like these Emerges that disappear into your decor have room-filling sound. Now, all this technology comes at a price, and that price is a small delay on the sound whilst the speaker processes it and shares it around the house. Until now, that's meant that a non-B&O TV can't be plugged directly into the speakers because of that sound, which shows itself as a lip sync. After the presenter has finished talking on screen, the sound is actually a third of a second behind the picture. 330 milliseconds, and that's far too much delay to actually be watchable. At the end of this video I'm going to link to the previous solution that I found for this some time ago, which is a wireless option using Apple TV. That's still valid, but it has a lot of caveats. It's a workaround. This I'm pleased with because we've got a proper, polished, foolproof solution that lets these speakers work reliably and consistently via a cable connection. Now, the speakers that apply for this video are the Emerges, seen here, Beosound Level and Balance, and also to a limited extent the latest Beosound A9 5th generation and Beosound 2 3rd generation. But I'll explain the differences there. Now, I mentioned earlier that these are non-Google equipped speakers. That's important because the earlier versions of these speakers that were sold had Google Voice Assistant, and in that case we can't use this cable solution. That's because on Google equipped speakers the Google ecosystem takes control of the line inputs on the speakers, and that adds in that 1/3 of a second delay that cannot be removed. So if you've got Google in your speakers, you'll probably be aware it will show Google, made for Google on the box, or you will have the Google Voice Assistant that I guess you will have used and encountered. In that case, you need to go straight to the end of this video, click on the video that's linked, and that will explain the Apple TV solution, which will work with your speakers. For those of us now with the non-Google speakers, all you need to do is go into the B&O app, select the speaker, go to the sound options, and you will see an option now marked low latency for line in. Please tick that box. If you don't see it, please go into the software update option and make sure that all your speakers are updated to the latest software version. Now, what this will let you do, with a caveat, when your speakers are cabled to your internet router with an Ethernet cable, this will let you reduce that audio latency significantly. If you have a single speaker, the latency comes down to 30 milliseconds from 330. So that's 0.03 seconds now. And if you have two speakers stereo paired like these, it comes down to 100 milliseconds or 0.1 seconds. So that's getting borderline. It's slightly noticeable, but it's workable. It's only if you're specifically looking for a lip sync delay would you see that. So both speakers cabled to the router, not working on Wi-Fi. And it's very easy now. A TV with a headphone socket can go directly into the 3.5mm input on the back of the speaker. And a TV with an optical output can connect with an optical cable. If you're getting it from soundsheavenly.com, drop me a note to say that you're using an Emerge level or balance speaker, and I can give you a free 3.5mm mini Toslink adapter with the cable that will go straight into the back of the speaker. Again, if you're using these Beosound Emerges with the headphone cable, let me know that you've got Emerges and I'll give you a free slimline adapter, which just makes that connection into the tight space in the back of the Emerge much easier. If you've got two speakers in a stereo pair, you only need to connect to one of them, and that will be the primary speaker, basically the one that you used in the B&O app to set up the stereo pair. My recommendation is that you choose the speaker that is the one that's most easily accessible, the one that you're most likely to reach out to if you want to play some music and you've forgotten to bring your phone. So in this case, I've used the one over on the side here that's nearer to the centre of the room. The other speaker will communicate to the primary speaker. And in this case, both speakers cabled back to the internet router, bring the audio latency down, and you now can use these speakers either via headphone output or optical output directly with any brand of TV. Volume control is now from the B&O app or from the touch panel on the speaker. If you're using the TV headphone output, you'll also have control from the TV remote, and you can adjust within the B&O app in the source behaviour section the volume offset, which is really useful. All that does is let you correct so that the volume of your streaming music is roughly the same as the volume of your TV at the default levels. So you can have a really nice integrated seamless setup, and this actually works superbly well. I've been you'll know if you're a regular viewer of the channel, I love the Beosound Emerges. They're an amazing little speaker, but I've been blown away by how well these work as TV speakers. When you look at them, even this is only a 43-inch screen and those speakers are tiny. They really should not sound as good as they do, but I love them. We've been playing them for movies, we've been playing them for regular TV broadcasts, and the rest of my family are normally really reluctant to have anything new like this, and they've really enjoyed them. So this is well worth doing. Admittedly, if we were going primarily for TV use, I would possibly go for the Beosound Stage soundbar, but we mainly have music, so two Emerges are definitely the option here. Beosound Level also works really well with the TV laid flat on a cabinet in front of the TV screen. It will adapt its sound accordingly. One speaker gives you stereo sound. That works extremely well. Now, I mentioned at the start the latest Mozart equipped Beosound A9 and Beosound 2 speakers can also be used here. They, instead of having 3.5mm combination analog and optical input, they have USB-C inputs. So we can provide a USB-C to 3.5mm analog audio adapter, and you would then connect in to the TV headphone socket if the TV has a headphone socket. If the TV is optical only, you'll need a small DAC or digital to analog converter. But again, please get in touch at soundsheavenly.com if you've got questions about this. We can help you to find a solution that works for your speakers. I'll just quickly say as well, if you have the Beolab speakers, so Beolab 28, Beolab 8, for example, there are a bigger range of connection options there. You can use this solution, but what I suggest is get in touch. You have a far wider range of options. Because of this audio delay, it's very small now that we've brought the speakers into the low latency mode, but it is there. One thing you can't do is combine these speakers with either the TV's own built-in speaker or with external speakers or subwoofers. So This is a setup where you need to ensure that only Mozart speakers are used for the sound, and that small delay is not an issue as long as you're not trying to match them to other speakers. Now, I have heard of people who've gone a little bit further with this, used an AV receiver with pre-out sockets and had a range of Mozart speakers connected directly to those, all online input, and that's perfectly feasible. So for example, you could have a Beosound Level as your centre speaker, you could have two larger Beosound balances for your front speakers and a couple of the small emerges as rear surround speakers. That would work superbly well. What you can't do there is combine, say, emerges with a Beolab 19, with KEF LF60 wireless speakers. You can't mix and match in that way. It would just be all Mozart speakers together. So there's a lot of options here. I hope that's been helpful as a quick whistle-stop tour of what is possible, but of course, if you've got questions, please get in touch, soundsheavenly.com. Be happy to help and talk you through what can be done. Coming up on screen now is my previous video explaining how to get a wireless setup for any of these Mozart speakers using Apple TV. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.